What up, what up? It's the Chief Kaseek Ortiz. And if you are one of the lucky ones to own one of these, the Warm Audio WA8000, you know that sometimes this comes with a little bit of maintenance. For some of those that don't know, or this is a tube microphone. So inside of this heatsink here, there is a tube that lies inside of it, which create that warm audio that's actually going through to the microphone, giving you that nice crisp sound. Without further ado, I want to keep it short and simple. We're actually going to go through and take this apart and add a new tube in it. Mine actually busted. It either gets too warm. If you mess with the cables, you know, shifting around, occasionally things break, and it is what it is. It's like basically a light bulb that's inside of it, and you know, light bulbs don't last forever. You are going to need a few tools, a small little hand screwdriver, and the biggest important thing is the actual tube. I currently have a RCA 6A U6A tube. That's the only tube that I believe that can fit into it, is the 6A U6A. They use Thompson and or General Electric. It's kind of a get what you pay for type of deal. So each tube will offer something different. Not every tube is literally made the same. Even, you know, I actually have two of these. One just in case if this one blows out, and it might sound different on this tube compared to this tube, even though it's the same brand. So that can definitely happen. But just keep that in mind when you're buying tubes. We're going to go through and bust down this microphone and then add this tube to it. This heatsink actually has 4 screws. So it's got 1, 2, 3, 4 that hold the actual heatsink. Okay, I think it's pretty easy just taking this heatsink off. Oh, there we go. There are 2 more screws I'm going to have to take off, which basically hold this bar over the actual bulb to kind of hold it in place. I'm not even entirely sure if mine's busted, but we're going to find out. As you see, this is a General Electric 6A U6A. Just do a light pull. Oh, I got stuff on my hands. Try to wipe this clean. Essentially, this is a lot like a light bulb, except that instead of twisting of the threads, it has little prongs inside of it that plug right in. As you see, the prongs that plug right in. So there's this plate that's inside of here. It kind of looks gray. It might look gray or blackish to you, but it's a whole plate. They actually make those inside of it to dissipate heat. I guess the darker it was, the better it was to dissipate the heat or control the heat. But this is more of like a gray. When I did buy this tube, I essentially bought it because it did have a gray or black backing to it, very similar to what's here. I think this is actually black, which is why I bought it. The black is supposed to be able to control the heat a lot better than the gray could. Just match up to the prongs. It's like a little space without a prong in it. Just want to match it up correctly. You do have to kind of put it in with some force. Try to be as gentle as possible. That way there you don't break these here. These are all kind of like soldered on and whatnot. So you just got to be very careful. So far it looks good. And that's pretty much it. At this point, all I got to do now is put back the mounting bracket and the heat sink, and we should be good to go. There is a certain way that if you adjust this, that it goes back in. It's not supposed to sit there. If you see this white, it's not supposed to just sit there flush. You actually want to be able to kind of maneuver it where it does tuck in. Once it tucks in, that makes this bracket fit on a lot easier. Put it nice and hand tight. Don't force it. Especially if this happens again, you want to be able to break it down again. As you see here, there's like a tip or a nipple part of it. You want it to make sure that it doesn't come past this threshold there. That way there, when you do put this heatsink back on, it just sits nicely. And after that, we're pretty much good to go. And then you were all set. That's it. Real simple and easy. So yeah, that's all. Something real quick. I remember when I first had this happen to me, I was kind of freaking out, thinking that the entire mic was busted and I was going to have to spend to go get me a brand new one. And luckily, I did have a warranty, so I was able to get it fixed, and they ended up using this. I could have saved myself $100 or plus sending it out just by replacing it myself, which is, you can find these tubes online, usually on Tube Depot or eBay, wherever you can find tubes in your local city, state, and they range from $10 to $100, and you get what you pay for. So I bought these for about 20 bucks. They should only run between that, 20, 40 bucks, unless you decide to go with the Sony brand or the Holland brand, where they only manufactured so many of them. But nonetheless, real easy fix. Now I'm about to go set it back up. You got to let it warm up for at least 30 minutes before you could use it. And I'm hoping that I should be good. If it's not good, then maybe I have a faulty tube and I can replace it with another tube. And if those are faulty, then I have to go buy another tube until, I find one that works. Other than that, if it helps you, like it, save it, share it with somebody who might need it. Because I looked up online and I couldn't find shit about it. So if it helped you, you know what I'm saying? Like it, save it, give it to somebody else, download it, share the info. All right, y'all. Peace.